So today's video is going to be ranking the Stacy Carpenter Scholarship auditions. I have not done a video like this in a little while. I've mostly been trying to focus on revision videos to help with the fact that revision videos are useful. So I've watched all the Stacy Carpenter Scholarship auditions religiously, like I used to I've always watched them like over and over again. Found out what I liked, what I didn't like, and who I think should have won. Summer 1, it was said in the very first episode of The Next Step. Before we get into this video, if you're not subscribed, subscribe down below. 89.5% of you are not subscribed. And 10.5% of you are subscribed. So if you're one of those people that's not subscribed, do subscribe. Bottom, I've put Finn. I know it's probably not a shock, but I have my reasons. I put Finn at the bottom because he didn't do anything that impressive. He did the same thing throughout. It didn't impress me much. He was quite stupid, and I don't find stupidity that funny. I find that people just need to grow up a bit and not be doing stuff like that. He probably did tell a story about which was a funny story. He asked him to do, but it was not the best. I feel like Finn could have done better. Like, throughout the seasons, we see him do more impressive stuff. Like, you should see what he did in the first episode of Tell the Story. Like, that jump he did, that was so good. So he can do really good stuff. So, next is Davis. I put Davis here. Davis here because her performance stayed on one level. She didn't do anything really impressive, and in the later of season 6 we find out she can do an aerial and she didn't do it. I liked her technique. She did a clean routine. It felt safe. At the same time, she was asked to dance about connection. She had some good points, but I didn't really feel connected to her dance. I feel like she just danced and smiled, and that was all she got, and I think the judges would be like, here's another good dancer. I liked how fluid Davis is. Davis had good stage presence. She made her eyes contact with the judges. She's basically a good dancer with eye contact with the judges, is all I can say in like one word. Next, I would put Kingston. Kingston, his dancing was good. He did so much technique. His moves were impressive, but I'm not sure about his dance. His dance was amazing. He didn't have eye contact with the judges. His focus was good, but he was asked to dance about determination. His story is good, but his dance did not fit the story. He didn't start off as a classical dancer and finish as a classical dancer. So it would have been nice if he started with hip-hop, then introduced ballet that he learned from like baby ballet, and then do everything else. Next, I put Summer, so she is not the winner. I put Summer here because she had a dance about hope. She didn't show as much hope as she could have showed. She could have showed more hope in that dance. A more emotive song would have been better, and less impressive moves, but she could have done more than she showed. Like in the season, she showed some really good stuff she can do. She was very repetitive. Like, her most impressive thing she did twice, so she kind of ran out of moves to do, which sort of shows that she's probably not scholarship material to be repeating herself. Like, is this person not got a good enough repertoire to be repeating themselves continuously? It was not super impressive. She could have brought more to her piece. I liked what we saw of her in season 6. So it would have been nice for her to see some of her really good tricks in that dance. By the end, Summer was quite predictable of what she was going to do. Some of the only reason she possibly won is because she connected with the judges and is quite well known. Next is Henry. Henry, he had to dance about confidence. His moves were good and confidently done, but he looked down at the floor a lot. So I didn't feel like he fully showed confidence, in my opinion. If you're not confident, you just pretend to show it. If you're not confident in that case, you just pretend you are. It's not dance confidently, it's can you show me you're confident? Which is what I feel like Henry didn't do, if I'm honest. Henry did have 100% energy throughout the whole dance. Had good hip-hop technique, good flash, liked it. Was more he wanted the chance to dance for Stacy Carpenter rather than wanting the scholarship. Next is Kenzie. I feel like Kenzie audition, her moves were great. I liked how clean her moves were. I feel like the point she made about being a people person, which she had to dance about being a people person, I'm not sure I felt it in the dance. Her dance was friendly, the way she did a leap and then opened her arms. But that was it. It would have been nice to see more elements of being a people person in that dance. I feel like it was more of the stage face, but not as good a stage face as like Lily can do. I prefer to watch Lily do the stage face than Kenzie do the stage face. Kenzie had a well-structured piece. It started strong and ended in a good place. She knew what she was doing. Next is Noah. His moves were good. I feel like I'm connected to him. In J-Troop he played instruments, which he was miming. I know he was miming piano instead of guitar, but I think at times he probably did play the piano. So he performed in season 1 and season 2 music. Some 4 years making music. He was showing how determined he was to get to where he is. The thing that he lacked was structure. He didn't have as much structure as he normally has. Don't think it was Noah's best dance, to be honest, but compared to the ones below it, I think he did really well. He really did show his progression. I liked how he did that turn sequence at the end, showing how far he'd come from J-Troop and now being able to do 30 turns. Next is Aussie. I love how he brought his own personality and how he was himself. He showed his Aussie grooves and did moves that related to him. He was 100% himself. He was asked to dance about his happy place. I feel like he matched the brief perfectly, like spot on. He was happy when he was dancing. He was thinking about being in his happy place. That came across so well. Like, you could tell that's what he was thinking about. Loved how Aussie stayed true to himself rather than being something he is not. But he did lack on the technique. That's probably what let him down. Next is Lily. She had to dance about humility, which she did do, but not in the way that was expected. She stayed true to herself. I liked how she stayed true to herself. Lily did dance well, and nobody danced like Lily before, so it was something fresh, something new. And it was more than the average stage phase. Lily did show that she knew what the brief was and how she really respected Stacy Carpenter, but she had a mind of her own and can think for herself. Lily owned the space, she used the stage, she had good energy. Third place we have Piper. Piper, I was always a bit unsure on what she's doing, but she fitted the brief, told the story. In her dancing, she did the moves that worked well, but she ran out of moves to do, I feel like. But compared to Summer, she fitted the brief a lot more. That's the difference, because even though she probably did run out of moves, to do, because she was very repetitive, that she actually stayed fit in the brief. Piper danced about embarrassment. I really feel that she really showed it. If you watch closely, you really feel connected to the dance. Piper not doing as many tricks worked in her favours, but I'm not the biggest fan of that dance, to be honest. But I feel connected to Piper, and how I felt connected to her dance as much as I didn't necessarily like it. But Piper did show she actually met the brief quite well. She did the turn behind her foot, and she showed how I can do this and I can dance more than just happiness, but for the purpose of this audition I'm dancing this way. Next is Jackie. Jackie is next. Out of all the people that didn't dance the brief, she did it the best. She showed the stuff that we hadn't seen from her before. She showed she'd taken on board the brief, but showed what she thinks of the brief, which is jealousy. So she showed what jealousy means to her, and how it's a sign of weakness and stuff like that. She has a very competitive edge. Like, I really liked how she was ready to audition, how she was ready to win, how she came into the audition ready, and how she danced well, and how it was not expected, all that kind of thing. I loved Jackie's solo. The points she made are really relatable, to be honest, about how Davis makes friends easier, which is relatable. So she did the moves well, great energy. Energy was up at all times. She maintained it without going full out at the beginning and being tired at the end. My winner is Amy. I loved Amy's performance. She had a lot of structure. She knew what she was doing. Originally, you probably would think she got a bit tired or ran out of moves to do, but that actually showed she fit the brief. She did really strong movement quality. She did moves we hadn't seen before. She did her best moves. She emoted well. The emotion felt really effortless, like her whole dance felt effortless. I loved how she was really full on at the beginning and showed love, how it's full on at the beginning and then settles down at the end. I loved that. She knew where the judges were and where she had to focus to get the judges' attention. She drew the judges into her performance, which I liked. So that was me ranking the Stacy Carpenter Scholarship auditions. I hope you like this video. Subscribe, comment. If you enjoyed this video, do all those things. And I'm gonna end it here. Bye.